Hi YouTube, what's up? First off, I'm gonna start by saying RP Pop Smoke. Just the Pop Smoke haircut we about to do. Basically just a little line and taper. But first we're gonna hit it with the Got To Be holding spray. You know, I always use this good holding spray. Keeps the hairline crispy, you know, makes it sharp. This will put that spunk on that haircut. So I'm about to hit it with the holding spray. What I do is I spray it on my gloves and then apply it instead of just spraying it on their head, because it kind of gets everywhere and you don't want like their forehead to be sticky or you don't want to get in their eyes. I don't want to risk none of that. So I put it on my gloves first and then put it on their head. Now the first thing I want to do in cutting it is I start in the back. I start that back taper. I don't go up too high. I'm gonna stay like right where I'm at, putting my little guideline in there and just going up a little bit. Now another thing about doing these haircuts, like depends on how long the hair is, the braids will get in your way. So in this video I'm gonna be using my dividers. Those are like the Velcro dividers I'm gonna be using to hold the hair down so I can move it the way I want it to move. That way I can work around the hair. So I'm putting my guideline inside there with my wall designers. Keeping that inside there. Now I got my one guard on there. I'm gonna take this one guard on my wall and I'm gonna flick out. Just a flick out motion, that's it. Just go ahead and fade everything out. That's it. I'm staying consistent with it. You know, not going up too high. Staying right where I'm at. Making sure this whole fade gets blended neatly. Now I have the guard off, as you can see, and I'm just gonna stay right where I put that guideline at. I'm getting that out now. I'm just gonna flick out. Like the whole thing with this blending motion, you want everything to fall in place with these fades. You don't want them to just look crazy looking or looking any old type of way. Like you want your fades to blend and pop. Like you want it to be smooth. You don't want to see no lumpiness in it, no lines in it to see where you left off or nothing. You want everything to lay down. So that's the best way we doing with these fades, is to flick out, to not put another line in it. And as you can see, we're working our way to the other side. All the way open with the wall designers. I'm just going to go up a little bit. Now the lower that we go, the more we're going to close them. If we go down too low at the bottom, we're going to make it low. So we got them all the way open and we're going to come around. Now the thing is on the sides is that we're not going to go up too high with the sides, because as you can see, we only have so much room to play with it. So I'm putting my dividers on there so I can see everything. Now we only have so much room to play with, like I said, in this area. So we're just gonna fade right where we at. We're not gonna go up too much because we don't want to risk going into the braids or where the part starts at. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit it with the line. We're gonna take this down first. First things first. We're gonna take the hair down. I'm over here moving the head. So we're gonna take the hair down, still keep it dark in the front. That little excess hair that's sticking up, just knocking all that down, making it all even. Just knocking that on even, keeping it dark still. Like the main thing, like when you at the top, a lot of people still want their hair to be dark. They don't want it to be low when you're doing a fade. They still want that darkness in it. Like the higher you go, now the lower you go, it's basically how the lower you go, really. You know what I'm saying? But if you go up high, they want to keep it dark. Now I'm just fading this out, no guard on there. I'm just flicking out where I put my line at, and I'm just going up, going with the grain on it, getting as close to that part as possible, but not too much. Like I said, you don't want to go inside of it. You don't want to accidentally cut a braid, or you know what I'm saying, cut where his hair is getting pulled into the braid. You don't want to cut that. So you want to get as close as possible as you can and still make it look neat. Now I got my Slimline Pros. I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to work my way to the right. And this is basically just a touch method, because like I said, these liners are already crispy. So all you got to do is just touch it basically. You ain't got to put too much effort in it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do too much work with these. You just want to tap it. Make sure it look neat. You know, make sure everything pops, falls into place. And we're just gonna hit it, get it straight as possible. like going over it a couple times just to make sure that we know where we at and make sure we got it right. So we just gonna tap it and keep touching it. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch it too much to where it starts to irritate the skin, but you know, just tap it a little bit because we're not going too hard in it. We just touching it. Now since we at the bottom of this, we're gonna ball this out. Go ahead and go up a little bit. Now we got all the designers on there. I'm just gonna flick up where we at. Stand right where we at. Not going up too much. We're just gonna flick up. Alright, now here's the fun part. The Barber Magic Pencil. This is an enhancement that I use. One of my enhancements that I use. I'll be using 2 enhancements on this haircut. So with the Barber Magic Pencil, I'm just gonna put it on there and I'm gonna go over it with my Slimline Pros. I'm not gonna go in too much. This is basically just a touch movement. You just wanna go up and touch, not going in too much. You basically just outlining what you went over with the liners. You just want to touch it a little bit, and that's about it. You know, don't go in too much. Make it look as natural as possible. Now, another enhancement that I use is my hair fibers. I'm just gonna go up, and I'm just gonna spray a little bit. Now, the key with these hair fibers is that you want that haircut to look natural as possible. You don't want it to look crazy. But in this one, I'm going to show y'all how to finesse it a little bit. I'm going to go back over the lining to make it look natural as possible. If I'm hitting the beard with my Slimline Pros, keeping it where it's at, and just touching it a little bit. You know, just making it neat as possible. Touching it. Now I'm hitting it with the Barber Magic Pencil again. But this time I'm putting it on the beard. So with that being said, we're just going to touch it with the same thing as we did with the lining at the top. We're just going to touch it, tap it. Now that his beard is already mostly thick and full, we're just going to hit a little bit with the hair fibers. Like I said again, these hair fibers, you want to make the haircut look natural with it. You don't want to make it look too black, you know what I'm saying? Or like it's all caked up. You still want it to look natural. So that's what we're doing. We're going to make this look good. The only thing that probably won't make this haircut look natural is the Barber Magic Pencil, but the fibers gonna make it look natural as possible. And we just touching this and keeping it as clean as possible. Fading the A1. Look at that. Getting it all the way through there. Just clean up that fade. Making sure your fade is neat as possible. Now, I'm gonna tell you about haircuts. The lining will make 75% of the haircut. 75% of a haircut comes from the lining. If that lining is cool, you basically can get away with anything. The 25, that extra 25, it's the fade. If you got a fade on that haircut, that's the whole thing basically. No matter how the hair look, if the lining, if the 75% is cool, and that 25% lining is cool, you basically A1. You're out the whole haircut, don't matter what kind of haircut it is. Now I'm doing the same thing to this side. I got my dividers on the braids to lock it down, and I'm just gonna go up with my wall designers. Like I said, we ain't got too much room to play with this kind of haircut. So we're just gonna fade right where we at. You know, like I said, you don't want to go into the parts too much, or go into the braids too much and mess everything up. You know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna hit it. Just put that guideline in there, and the best way we can, as far close up as we can, before we can start fading. Making it look good. Getting inside there real good. Now we're gonna take this down, that little extra dark spots before we start fading. Like I said, we want this fade to fall in place and look neat as possible. So we're gonna take them little dark spots out and lay it down. Like the same thing we did to the other side, the same exact steps. Whatever you do on one side, you gotta do to the other side. And we're just gonna flick out. Wall designers, no guard, just flicking out. As you can see, I'm putting the braid up because I'm making sure I'm getting as close as possible to knock that hair down, but not close to the braid. You know what I'm saying? Or to where the hair is getting pulled at for that braid. Like, these haircuts kind of tricky though, but I'm gonna say this: go as far as you can as possible. If you scared and you don't think that if you go up a little higher and you might mess it up or mess a braid up or cut a braid or something, just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Let the client know, like, yo, I don't feel comfortable going up just too high. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to end up cutting your braid off, so I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. You can do that. They'll understand. But if you get up as close as possible and make it look good, you should be alright. Because the braid's gonna lay down anyway and it's gonna cover it up. So either way it go, you will be alright. Now we're gonna start with the lining. It's the Slimline Pros again, and we're gonna work our way to the left this time. Just gonna touch it, try to get that line as straight as possible, trying to get it crispy as possible, but mostly straight as possible. So we're just gonna tap it and touch it. As you can see, we're just touching a little bit. We can working our way back and forth because we're trying to make sure we get that line as straight as possible. So I'm gonna end up going back and forth on it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everything is A1. Hit them sides now, getting it crispy, and just touching it. Okay, now here we go again with the Barbie Magic Pencil. We're gonna put that on there. Then we just gonna hit it and going over it, basically like copying. We got our line on there, so we're just gonna put the hair fibers on there. Like I said, don't want to spray too much on there. Just tap it a little bit, squeeze it, and just, you know, just fill in the little extras, but in the same way still keeping it natural as possible, natural looking as possible, I should say. Now we got the Slimline Pros on there. We're just gonna hit it, going over where we put that pencil at, just smearing it basically, just to cause that illusion to make it, you know what I'm saying, to give it that crisp look. That's what we on. They look A1 already. We ain't even done with it yet. It's looking crispy. Okay, now we're gonna start with that beard. We're gonna work our way up, just tapping it just a little bit. And sometimes the face is a little sensitive than the head, so you gotta be careful. Depends on if you know your clippers or not. It is sharp, it is, or cut your client or not. Depends on, like I said, depends on how you work your clippers. Now you putting that Barbie Magic Pencil on that beard, you're just gonna touch it. Just tap it a little bit, you know. Give it that crispy effect, making it look good. Can't forget the mustache. But we just gonna hit it and hit it and hit it. Alright, now we got the fibers. I'm using my business card. I'm gonna put it on there and I'm just gonna spray a little bit. Like I said, the beard, his beard is pretty cool. It ain't too much thin. So basically I'm just adding a little extras to it just to give it that fire look. And we're just gonna hit it again, go over it. Just tapping it. Making sure that everything is crispy. Like I said, the lining makes 75% of the haircut. So you gotta make sure that lining is A1 out of everything. Now you're gonna put it on the side and just tap it a little bit, making sure this look crispy as possible as well. Now you don't want it to look fake and crazy looking. So we're just gonna tap it and hit it. Pretty decent. Now we're gonna fade them sideburns. And going up, putting that fade inside there. Pretty decent, huh? Going over anything, any extra work we gotta go over. And yeah, that's the Pop Smoke haircut. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Until next week. Peace.